Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Tonight, or today, we're going to be breaking down the 20th, 420. We got some 420 games. And we've got a really solid 11-game all-day slate. We've got, and this is MLB, we've got a 7-game main slate starting at 7:10. We've also got 4 games in the early at 12:37. I love those early games. We're going to be getting into those. We've got a 2-game turbo at 8:05, as well as 2 night games at 9:10. So it's 420. Get your smoke on. Do what you got to do. But we're going to have a really solid MLB slate. You know what? Just a quick. Mike Larry, what's going on, big homie? Now, just a quick thing. Something that stuck out to me today. I was all over a Yankees stack, and there was a short time throughout the evening where you couldn't tell me that I wasn't about to hit him for all the money. Like, I mean, I'm talking Aaron Judge, Jack Yardy. I mean, the Yankees just played so well today, and we saw very solid performances from everybody from. What's up, Andrew Pierce? We got some cats coming in from the VIP, from the Sweatshop VIP. They're gonna be chopping it up with us, knocking the slate down with us as well. Now, I believe we still have the homie Dexter Pope, man. He is dpope919 on Twitter, and excellent. I'm talking about a young kid that is a golf enthusiast, and I think he is still going hard in the Sweatshop, breaking down some golf. But I really want to go ahead and get this started so that I can go ahead and jump into my research for tomorrow. So. The homie said he stayed up late for once. Well, thank you for staying up late and rocking with your boy, man. Appreciate it. Envious one, what's happening, big homie? So we are gonna go in right now, but man, that Yankee stack was fucking fire, man. It worked, turned out even better than the red stack from last night. And see, Josh Dewey knew that he should enter the spot. He knew this was his time to come on in because guess what? I'm gonna bow down, kiss the ring, because Josh Dewey was right on so many fronts tonight. And I'm glad that he himself developed a little following and allowed some other cats to get to the money. I'm so glad that everybody didn't just listen to me, but they actually took some advice from some other cats in the shop, namely Josh Dewey, because he put us all on Vargas. He told me, don't play Bumgarner, play Kershaw. Pay up for Kershaw, which was right. So big shout out, bowing down, kissing the ring, Josh Dewey, you the man. Hey, you were right. You were right. I'm a man. I can stand up and say when you're right, you're right. QV, what's happening, big homie? So, but my Yankee stack was love. My Yankee stack was love, and they were featured on the website. I'm not gonna just and Greinke didn't suck. He did say Greinke was gonna play well. And that happened as well. So, I'm not just gonna, not leave. I'm gonna leave you out in the cold. I'm not gonna do that. On the website, I did post my favorite stack today. I'm gonna do that a couple of days throughout the week. And the Yankee stack was fire, man. Ellsbury played very well. Judge, man, it was dope. It was dope. The big homie, the highest owned guy was about 15% owned. Came as soon as the game started. Yardy. Got it out of there. So, very, very solid, man. And I'm a Yankees fan, so I like to see him do well. But how about Gesselman, though? I was right about Gesselman. I had Gesselman in a lot of spots. And I didn't double my buying, but I made a little bit more than my buying. So that was good, man. I've got some to play with tomorrow. And I do love those 4-game states. And we're going to be getting into that as well. But tonight's show, oh, yes. And that is the key. Because we talked about, now you ain't post on the thread. Now, the Met stack was good too, and we all agreed about that. We all agreed about that. Now, the thing that kind of escaped me was I did not go as hard on Harper as I should have in the shop. Personally, I had him in 1 out of 10 lineups, bro. And whenever a guy goes out and scores damn near 50 fucking points, and you don't have him everywhere, a guy that good, a guy who he's gonna see a ton of ownership anyway, just because of the name. The name alone is gonna, allow this guy to see a ton of ownership. But when you look back at the BVP, and you saw how well he played against the pitcher he was facing, it was a casual, common, no-brainer to have a ton of Bryce Harper, and that escaped me, that eluded me. The Washington stack outshined my Yankee stack, and that proved to be the reason why I didn't totally get to the money. That grand slam was a beautiful thing to watch live. I'm sure it was, QV. I'm sure it was. Even Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce was a guy that came up a lot in the Sweatshop when we talked about those Met stacks. So we're a lot of times we're on the right track, bro. We are on the right track a lot of times. What's up, big homie? Good to see you in there, man. A lot of times we're on the right track, but what it comes to is putting it together. And the way we put it together is we communicate with each other. We get in these small groups. Now, I know later on, everybody's going to be able to see this. Thousands of people are going to be able to see this later on YouTube. But the way we plant that seed and we start our lineups is, getting together in these smaller groups, a little more intimate thing, and we get into it, okay? Don't forget Tanaka. Didn't I tell you about Tanaka? I said Tanaka was going to be a good play too. I like Tanaka. We can do what we want to do against the White Sox. So now if you're noticing, just that fast, 2 weeks into the season, we are starting to notice trends, and the things that we're discussing are fairly similar. At first, MLB seemed like a tough nut to crack, but I know right now you've got to be developing confidence in your ability to put out plays that you like, put out lineups that you like, and not just be rostering cats because you only got 3K. And Kushu. God damn it, Josh. And Kushu. He gave us Kushu too. Like, yo, dude was on. I bet you had a good night. You had to. Because you were on fire, bro. You were straight fucking fire. And I definitely appreciate that, man. I definitely do. MLB is way more profitable than NBA. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Because, the trends last longer. If a guy hits well against a guy, he just does. It's just the variations that we see with NBA is just not the same when it comes to MLB. Things are a little more concrete, even though it doesn't seem that way in the beginning. By the time we get a nice amount of sample size, then we can really roll with it. There were way too many pitchers. Yes, there was a ton of the best pitchers on the fucking slate were cheap as shit. The best pitchers on the slate were cheap as shit. And the homie Dexter Pope is still going in on golf right now. I'm talking, this dude is at almost 3 hours of straight golf talk. That is a dedicated brother, man. That's my dude, man. Shout out to Dexter Pope, man. Follow that dude on Twitter, man. He is a genius when it comes to golf. It's DPope919. Dude is very solid. Very solid. Thank you so much for all you do for us here in the shop, man. I'm rolling out some golf lineups based on a lot of what that they talked about. Garrett was great. Garrett was awesome. And there's a play we talked about in the shop. I think like the two highest scoring pitchers, the 2 or 3 highest scoring pitchers we saw were like under 6K. And that's nuts. That's nuts. I kind of want to just, look at it. Yeah, so we had Jason Vargas was at 5.3. He scored 35 DraftKings points. Okay, Clayton Kershaw got 32. Amir Garrett, 30. Chasen, 29. Zach Greinke, 26. So you didn't have to pay up a ton for pitching, man. You really didn't have to. You could have kind of done what you wanted to do, right? Word, man. It was wild. It was wild, man. Kaheem Jones says he was 100% Garrett. Nice. I'm glad a lot of you had good nights, man. You made solid plays. And like I told you, stick with it, man. It's going to get easier. It's going to get easier and easier as the season goes on. I'm telling you. I can assure you that, right? So let's go ahead, man. We're going to jump into some early slate pitching. What I have pulled up in front of me, I'm going to be working from quite a few sites. Roto Cruel is one that I really like. I don't want to get any trouble by turning the screen and showing you, but I'm just going to be rolling through those. I've got QL open. I've got Swish Analytics. I've got MLB.com is the main place that I go. I've got a lot of stuff. A lot of different stuff open. That's what we're going to be going through. So let's go ahead and really quick jump into that all-day slate for tomorrow. Starts at 12:37 Eastern Time. And what we're doing here is we're going to be rolling through our pitching, kind of seeing, what we have to look forward to tomorrow in the way of pitching. Because as you know, you get your pitching right, like most of you, like a lot of you did today, it definitely makes it easier for the rest of your lineup. So Kaheem said he had $2,500 in salary left, and just played the guys he likes. Just played the guy he likes. Like fuck trying to use all of your salary. He just played the guy he likes. Very smart. Very smart. So first game we got is going to be at the Rogers Center in Toronto. We've got the Boston Red Sox, who had a horrible game last night going up against the Toronto Blue Jays. We've got Chris Sale on the mound against Marco Estrada, both very capable pitchers. But Chris Sale is a motherfucking ace, a stone cold ace. And at 13.3, these are those Westbrook type guys that you just play. You just roster this guy. In the early slate, you've got 4 games. You don't have time to get cute and act crazy and start any of these guys, because you're gonna have to play 2 on DraftKings. And I'm playing FanDuel tomorrow in the early, I'm locking in Chris Sale. I'm just doing that. I don't give a fuck. I'm locking him in. So I love Sale tomorrow at 13.3. We've got Marco Estrada at 8.4. These games are usually pour him on me, baby. Pour him on me, baby. Give me some Chris Sale. Now, if you look at it, these games with these ace stud style pitchers, we talked about this yesterday. They're usually low in scoring, just because the team that has the ace style pitcher does not feel the need to take a lot of chances. With 1 out and a guy on first, he's not going to tell you to steal. Just score runs naturally. We've got Chris Sale. We've got Madison Bumgarner. We've got Kershaw. These guys can hold you down. We're not giving up. These guys are not giving up more than 2 runs. So if we score 3, 4, 5 runs, we should be good. We're not taking a lot of chances. And that kind of keeps the scoring low in some of these games with these major ace guys. So that being said, you kind of don't have to roster bats from the same team where you have those ace-style pitchers. Now, the Dodgers have been the exception in the beginning of the season, the first week of the season, but you see where that's been going recently. So, the homie Coleman Huggins says he faded Westbrook. Bad night. Duh. Yeah, man, the dude went off for damn near a hundo, man. That was sick. And he can do that whenever he wants. You know he can. But they just know there's a great chance they lose in the playoffs when he does that. So, whatever. But yeah, so we've got Chris Sale on the bump, who we love. Marco Estrada, who I'm not going to play Marco Estrada just because I just don't want to test those Boston bats. They're going to wake up at some point. This team is still leading the league in batting average, still have a ton of good bats, guys that can get on base. So I don't think that I want to play Marco Estrada. Trying to tag you. Oh, he's talking to Josh. And a lot of times they chop it up with each other. I'm just the guy. I'm just like the circus leader, the ring leader guy. But so now we've seen a shift in overall batting average. We've got the Washington Nationals are now leading the league in batting average, 294. Awesome. They also have 19 home runs, 103 strikeouts, which is pretty good for their batting average and how many home runs they've got. The Boston Red Sox are second in batting average at 288. They dropped a couple of points. The Houston Astros are third at 274. We've got the Miami Marlins still holding on that 4th spot at 274. And my New York Yankees are batting 267 as a team. They also have 22 home runs and 113 strikeouts. So I kind of like the direction that the season is going already for my New York Yankees. I don't have a problem there at all. I'm good. Okay, so let's go ahead. So it's already predetermined. We like... don't get it twisted. We like Sale. We're going to play Sale. And I'm not playing Marco Estrada because I don't want to test the Boston bats. Next game we're talking about is the Cleveland Indians and the Minnesota Twins. This game is going to be made up from yesterday. There's a 4% chance of rain in this game. We've got 9-mile-per-hour winds shooting out toward right field. We've got Corey Kluber and Irvin Santana on the mound. I think Kluber is definitely in play for me. I've got to check out some BVPs type stuff because if these guys give it up to the orders they're facing, this could be a game stackable situation. But I kind of like Corey Kluber. He's a bona fide ace pitcher. He's a really good pitcher. And we've got Irvin Santana, who I do like, played very well for me last time out. But do you want to test those Cleveland bats? And I don't think that that's going to be a really good spot. Now, to tell you, the guys that really win, what's up, Seth, big homie? Good to see you, man. The guys that win usually in these smaller slates are the guys that are not afraid to kind of go contrarian, because you can definitely cash by playing safely. Rostering the guys. That's going to be between because it's only 4 games. Rostering the guys, there's going to be between 15 and 30% in ownership. Sometimes even more than that. Whenever you got like a stud, like I guarantee you, we're going to see Chris Sale tomorrow at least 40 to 50% owned on that 4-game early, at least. So, and you can get to the cash line that way. But if you really want to make some hay, you've got to be sort of contrarian. And I think that, playing some of the Minnesota guys against Corey Kluber is going to be a little bit contrarian. And I think you may be able to get away with that. I really do. Because I'm not going to be on Kluber, period. But you're going to be battling 7,000 other lineups. That's right. If you just stick to the chalk, you're going to be battling a ton of other people. They're going to have very similar lineups. So, on these smaller slates, it is okay to go slightly contrarian. I'm not saying roster a motherfucker who ain't shit. I'm just talking about the guy who's a little bit less owned. Take advantage of him, okay? Next game we're talking about is going to be the Detroit Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. We've got Erasmo Ramirez at 5K, and we got Daniel Norris at 7.5. Normally, I wouldn't like Daniel Norris, but something is telling me that we can take a look at Daniel Norris in the spot. Normally, I like Tampa Bay. I like Tampa Bay Rays. Normally, I like those guys. But something is telling me that we can take a look at Daniel Norris. I kind of like him in this spot. At 7.5K, I think he can be a solid pitcher to go with Chris Sale and still give me some room to pay up in other spots. I don't have an issue there. Okay? So we know that the Tampa Bay Rays, they're a team, that they're not prone to play super well. And let's check them out and see. Okay, so they're 8th in batting average, batting 255, 17 home runs as a team, 168 strikeouts. This team strikes out. So I think we may be able to use that to our advantage tomorrow and rock with a little bit of Daniel Norris. I don't have an issue there. On the other side, Erasmo Ramirez, I think we can look to a few of these guys for the Detroit Tigers. We're talking about Ian Kinsler, I kind of like. Miggy Cabrera, I kind of like him. Victor Martinez, somebody we can take a look at. Even James McCann at 2.8, very cheap price for a catcher. We know we're always scrambling to catch us a cheap catcher. So I kind of like him in that spot too. The next game we're talking about is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Houston Astros. Lance McCullers Jr., yes. Give me some of that McCullers Jr.'s. Now, Sam, I like the drum, asked me if I like a game stack. Was that for this Detroit and Tampa Bay game? Now, because if it is, it's doable, definitely, because Daniel Norris is not a fucking killer. Like, he's not going to, just mow everybody down. He's not. But at the same time, I think I'm going to be using some Daniel Norris, so that's going to deter me from rocking with a full-on game stack when it comes to that Detroit Tigers and Tampa Bay Rays game. Of course, this is an 8-point total, so we can look to have a few runs scored on both sides. Now, the Angels and the Astros. Now, my early favorite for the Shelley candidate of the early slate is going to be Matt Shoemaker. I think Matt Shoemaker can get his ass handed to him. I really do. And I like George Springer. I like Jose Altuve. If Carlos Correa comes back and plays, I like him. I think Beltran is in play. Brian McCann, somebody who I do like. I think I can stack the shit out of Houston against Shoemaker. And he's just good enough to where I can get these guys at a semi-affordable price. We've got the envious one says he likes Bergman in this spot. I definitely can go there with you. Now, as far as some of those Anaheim bats, I'm going to be rocking a lot of Lance McCullers Jr., so I'm not going to be too tough on them. But if you want to go against me and play guys, now the Astro stack, exactly. Now with the Astro stack being the chalk, what I'm envisioning in the early slate is keeping pace with everybody with Chris Sale and Astros stack, and then that's where I'm going to get jiggy with it, and I'm going to separate myself from the rest of the field with certain plays. Now, is Mike Trout one-off capable? Not to me. 5.2. I'm not fucking with it. Mike Trout 5.2. It might bite me in the ass, but I'll take that. That's just a lot to pay. And I'm paying up for Chris Sale. I'm paying up for Lance McCullers Jr. I'm not going to be able to afford. I'm not going to be able to afford Mike Trout. I'm not. Now, if I can take some guys around him in the order, if I wasn't going to be playing McCullers, but I'm so set on liking McCullers that I'm just not going to, I'm not going to bite the hand that's feeding me. I'm not going to say, oh, Lance McCullers, go out there and give me 10 strikeouts, but give up 1 home run to Cole Calhoun. Like, I'm not gonna ask this guy to do that. I'm not gonna do that. So I do like Lance McCullers, and I think that we can post up Matt Shoemaker as an early Shelley candidate. I don't think Shoemaker will give up home runs. And he may not give up home runs, but he gonna give up hits. They gonna hit him. They gonna hit him. They gonna hit him. This game you're talking about. This starts the main slate at 7:10. We're gonna start here with the Baltimore Orioles going to Cincinnati, take on the Reds. Now this game, it says here that is a possibility of delay or rain out. So we do have the option for this game to rain out. So we want to keep abreast of that. Now we've got Wade Miley on the bump for the Baltimore Orioles. We've got Scott Feldman on the bump for the Cincinnati Reds. Now we know how bad the Baltimore Orioles strike out, but do we want to test that again with Scott Feldman? I don't think so. I don't think so. And just take a look at the Cincinnati side. Now they haven't been playing particularly well lately. They really haven't been. A lot of the people are going to be kind of miffed because they haven't been able to peg the Cincinnati Reds right. I've heard so many people say, when I play the motherfuckers, they don't do shit. And then when I don't play them, they all go off. And I think tomorrow is an opportunity, or today, is an opportunity for those Cincinnati bats to really wake up and have a very solid game. Now, these are the Cincinnati bats we're talking about. These guys are in the top 10 in batting average at 255, 19 home runs, only 94 strikeouts. These guys do not strike out a ton. So I think that's they make contact, very solid contact at that. They are probably one of the better small ball teams right now. It's kind of a surprise, actually, in most spots. Most people that you talk to are going to say that. So I think we can look to a stack, man. Billy Hamilton, yes, give me that. He only had 7 points tonight. People are not going to really want to be on him, so I can definitely get there. Peraza Vato is down to 4.9. Adam Duvall, 4.4. I'm going to keep on playing Scott Schebler. The motherfucker owes me money. Scott, if you're watching this, you owe me money. And I'm going to collect tomorrow. I like him. We had some cats put me on Zach Cozart. Decent game out for him tonight. But that's as far as I'm going. I like the top 5 of that order. I'm going to pick 4 guys. Feldman has bad starts. I wouldn't start him. No, not at all. I wouldn't start. Especially let's check out this Baltimore order, bro. Because these guys are due to really get it in. I'm talking, Manny Machado, Chris Davis, Mark Trumbo, Wellington Castillo. That's kind of where I'm going to be looking at those 4 guys. Machado, Davis, Trumbo, and Wellington Castillo. That's what I'm going to be looking at. They're all kind of priced up, but I think that if you want to pay for Chris Sale, you can roster these guys in a stack, so to speak, and still do a little something on the back end, right? Next game we're talking about is the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. We've got Noah Syndergaard. Okay. I was on Gesselman. Today, I'm on Syndergaard. I love the spot that he's in against the Philadelphia Phillies. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to be playing any bats from this game because I like Aaron Nola too. Aaron Nola, 8.5K, very solid price on him. This is a guy that can get out. He's a ground ball pitcher. He can sneak it by him. I like Aaron Nola. I love Noah Syndergaard at 11.8. These are both pitchers that I really do like tomorrow. I like these guys. Phillies will steal all over Noah. You have to get on if they get on base. I like these guys. I like both of them. I like Noah Syndergaard and I like Aaron Nola in the spot. So I probably won't be fucking with too many of the Mets or Philadelphia bats. Now, that being said, people are going to see Noah Syndergaard, right? And they're going to say, fuck no, I can't play a lot of these Philadelphia guys. But I'm here to tell you, either I'm right and he's going to have a great game, or the Philadelphia guys are going to hit the shit out of him. So if you don't play Syndergaard, if you're not playing Syndergaard, play some Philadelphia Phillies. That way, hey, That's kind of a hedge for you. I'm going to be playing some Syndergaard. I like him a lot. I could be wrong, but I do like him a lot. And I mean, you look at how cheap these guys are. We're talking about Daniel Nava, 2.8, the switch hitter. Herrera, 3.5. Franco, 3.7. Michael Saunders, 3.2. And you know what? Syndergaard is not, I mean, he is right there. He's on the cusp of being one of those guys you just can't hit against. You can't play hitters against. But he's not quite there. Like, he's not Kershaw. He is not, that he's not that level. And I think he can have bad games. He can get hit. I kind of like him tomorrow because they're at home. He plays very well at home. But if you don't want to go the way that I'm talking about, if you want to go against me, then I think you should play some Philadelphia bats. I really think you should. The next game we're talking about is the Washington Nationals. In tournaments, definitely in tournaments. Next game we're talking about is the Washington Nationals and the Atlanta Braves. This is a 7.5 point total. We've got 4-mile-per-hour winds shooting out towards center field, a 5% chance of very, very, very light rain. So this game probably will play without incident. We just saw the Nats come off one of the most explosive, one of the most beautiful offensive explosions we've seen in quite some time. Didn't they have 2 cats at a Grand Slam? Didn't they have 2 Grand Slams? What the fuck? They had 2 Grand Slams. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something about this. My favorite stack tomorrow is Atlanta Braves. Go check out what these guys have done against Strasburg. They don't all hit Scherzer very well. Nobody does. No team really hits Scherzer well. But these guys specifically, they all hit Strasburg very well. And I'm talking about from the top 5. I like Inciarte. I like, the only guy that I have paused about is Swanson because he doesn't have that, he doesn't have enough of a sample size to really get me going. But I kind of like him in the spot because I think, think about this, man. If let's say me and you at the club, we chilling, right? We see a group of 5 young ladies over there. You go over there, and they play you. They dish you. You don't get no number. I probably won't even go up there. I won't feel right going behind you because I see that them hoes. They kind of high post. They play me. But if you go over, and you get a number easily, and the friend looks over my way, I may think, hey man, I can go get me some too. And that's what I think happens a lot with these baseball players, man. You see a guy get hit. The pitcher's with every hit, the pitcher's confidence go down, and the batter's confidence goes up. The guy behind him, the guy on deck is like, oh shit, if I'm on deck swinging the bat, and I see little Ender Inciarte just take you deep, that little dude just did that. That I'm gonna do my thing too, and that's why we see so many of those explosions like back to back to back. We see, that's why stacking is so important. That's a part of it. It's a mental part that plays in it. And I didn't mean to take you on a long diatribe, but that's just what it is. So I think Swanson, Inciarte, Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis are all in play, and one of my sneaky peeky plays in lineups that I'm not stacking the Atlanta Braves. I'm gonna have Adonis Garcia in there too because he has a very solid BVP matchup against Strasburg as well. Strasburg is not the same guy, and there's absolutely no way. I wish I could see Strasburg at 20-some-odd% ownership tomorrow because I'm not ever playing this dude. I'm not against the Braves. I'm not. 11.1, that is just too much. This is one of the peskiest teams in the league, like the leading candidate for small ball team of the year. And they also got a lot of pop with Freddie Freeman, who's been on a freaking tear. And anytime this guy is against righties, I'm just going to play him. I'm going to play Freddie Freeman against righties. So, been telling these guys don't play Swanson. He'll be good in a year or two, but he can't hit a beach ball right now. Yo, I'm still like swooning off of the last crush that I got from Swanson, and he's the only guy that I may overlook in the lineup. I like Inciarte, Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis. I like Adonis Garcia, and I am gonna offer some consideration to Dansby Swanson. Okay. Now, as far as R.A. Dickey, who's gonna be pitching for the Atlanta Braves, he is definitely hittable. There's no reason why you can't game stack this. Bryce Harper still is going to be hot as fuck, only priced at $5K. You've got Daniel Murphy at 4.5. I'm just going to roster all of the left-handed bats in this game. I'm going with Eaton. I'm going with Bryce Harper. I like Daniel Murphy. I'm going to even look further down the order and maybe check out guys like Defoe and Matt Waiters, because those guys are going to give me opportunity to pay up because I like Chris Sales. I like what's the dude name? I like Paxton, and he's at 9.6K. I like Paxton so much, so I do want to pay up in that spot. So I'm going to be paying down wherever I can. All right, so and we've got some mush bats today. We really do. I mean, we've got some guys that we can target. I'm telling you, what they did was, and I don't give a fuck what nobody says, man. I'm telling you, I'm Southern, and we like to play something called country dumb, where we act like we didn't know what we were doing, but we knew what we were doing the whole time. And so they're at the SunTrust Field, and Freddie is like banging out homers in this spot, right? They tailored this fucking field for him to hit home runs. Like, I think what they did was they went back and looked at all the home runs he hit and where the ball was and how, oh man, this was a fly ball, should have been a home run. And I think they fixed the stadium to like go directly with the way this dude hits. And he is, I mean, at home he is nuts. He is letting it go, especially against right-handed pitchers. They tailor-made this for Freddie Freeman, bro. It should be Freddie Freeman Field, and the dude's gonna go on a tear this year. He's already on one. Next game we're talking about is the Kansas City Royals and the Texas Rangers. This just in, the Royals suck. Danny Duffy at 8.2K against Texas. I'm kind of looking for Texas to bounce back. They got their asses handed to them by the Oakland A's yesterday, and I kind of like a few of these guys, man. We're talking about, and see, this is a difficulty because Danny Duffy is a very capable pitcher. 8.2K, left-handed guy, going to be hurling against the Texas Rangers. There's an article on it. They literally built around his swing, where they studied the spray chart and built the shit around the swing. Isn't that dope? Fucking country dumb, man. Southerners, man. I didn't know we were doing that. I just thought we were building the stadium. The motherfucker built that shit so Freddie could get jacks. That's awesome. That's that Southern shit right there, homie. All right, so Carlos Gomez, somebody who I kind of like at 4.1K. We can take a look at Odor. Definitely, he's the one left-handed bat on the Texas Rangers that does mash left-handed pitching, so I kind of like that. Lucroy at 4.2, kind of deserves consideration there. Maybe some Nomar Mazara, my favorite young player. I can have a look at him as well. I like a lot of these guys. The over-under in this game is 9. Most of Texas power is lefties, and they can hit lefties. That's coming from the Envious One. Very solid observation. That's why I kind of like a Texas stack tomorrow. Also, on the Kansas City side, I'm not fucking with them. I'm just not. I mean, the guy that gets them right kind of wins all the money. But man, I just can't. I just can't go there, man. We're checking them out. I think they're still toward the bottom of the league when it comes to batting average. Yes, they are batting .221, good for 24th place, 16 home runs, 115 strikeouts. Texas Rangers are 28th place, batting .210 with 125 strikeouts, but they do have 21 home runs. So, both of these teams are pretty tough to gauge right now. But I think, if I had to pick one offensive stack, it would definitely be the Texas Rangers in this spot. Definitely. Without question. All right. The next game we're talking about is the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. Now is where we have another opportunity. Carlos Martinez at 9K. Zach Davies 6.7. You might like Carlos Martinez. You might. And I haven't liked them at all. Kansas City are the Utah Jazz of baseball. Watch him. You know what? Josh Dewey says he does not want to stack Texas. So you would use them more in some one-off spots, guys you kind of like. Looking at BVP or looking at the matchup against the pitcher. I can get it. Duffy is in play with all those lefties. I think that's very fair. Take Odor and Matsara if you play them. Those are the guys I like. Those are my two favorites. They both hit well against left-handed pitchers, even though they're left-handed batters. So we've got the Milwaukee Brewers in Miller Park. It's 420. Smoke something. We've got the Carlos Martinez at 9K. Zach Davies. I am not afraid at all of Carlos Martinez. I think that we can take a look definitely at the Milwaukee Brewers. We saw a human game finally from Eric Thames. He finally had a human game where he didn't look like some cyborg that's just prone to go out and smash a bunch of home runs. I think we can take a look at him. He's down at 3.8. Give me some of that. I'm gonna. Anytime that dude's under 4K, I'm snatching his ass up. Anytime this dude is under 4K, I'm playing him, and that's just what it is. VR at 4.5 is doable. Give me some Ryan Braun at 5K. I like that. Travis Shaw is fastly becoming one of my favorite players in the league. Love this kid and what he's been doing lately. At 3.6, we can definitely look there. And if you want to get real jiggy with it, some Keon Broxton at 3.9. Dude can steal bags. They just didn't pitch to him. Yeah. Gotcha. So that's what I like. I'm not on Carlos Martinez. I think he can easily be hit, especially with some of these left-handers, man. You got Eric Thames, man. He might kill him. So I'm stacking. Kaheem Jones makes it plain and simple for everybody. Just stack Milwaukee and be done with it. I'm going into it. On the St. Louis side, this is a team that has not been hitting very well either. Checking out some of their stats, they are 29th in the league in batting average at the moment, batting .210. They're sharing that last spot with the Texas Rangers. 124 strikeouts, only 14 home runs. They're just not playing very well, and I don't think I want any of that. I really don't. Now, if you had to take anybody in this spot, I think maybe you could look at some of the left-handed bats, maybe some Matt Carpenter if he does come back. I know he missed the game, and Colton Wong at 3.4 is sort of interesting if you wanted to get a piece of both sides of this game. I don't have a problem with that at all. Against Zach Davies, why not? They will hit in this game. They will break out tomorrow. That's coming from the envious one. He's saying that about the St. Louis Cardinals, saying that they're going to hit in this game. They're going to break out of that slump they've been in and play well. I can see it. But, there's some sure bets that I really do like. And these guys are not cheap. Like Fowler, 4.9. Alderman Diaz, 4.5. Matt Carpenter, 4.8. Piscotty, 4.5. These guys are not cheap enough for me to play them. Fowler went off, hitting 2 jacks, and he is a lefty in play. I can dig that. Next game we're talking about is at Petco Park. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres. The Padres really brought me back down to earth because I was kind of riding high off of a few times that I saw those guys play particularly well. But, man, we haven't been seeing that lately. Over the last couple of games, man, they have been stinking up the joint. They are last in the league in batting average at 209, 123 strikeouts, with 18 home runs, though. So they do have some bats with some pop. And against Patrick Corbin, you may want to take a couple shots somewhere. If you do, I think you can look to some of the right-handed bats on the San Diego side. Guys like Manuel Margot, maybe some Will Myers. You might want to take a look at Hunter Renfroe batting cleanup probably in this spot. I kind of like that. And even in Hedges at 2.9. Very cheap catcher if you want to take a look at him. Travis Jankowski, nah. Eric Ibar, he smashed a home run last night too. But, we can kind of take a look at some of these guys. The right-handed guys against Patrick Corbin. Okay, now Clayton Richard is on the bump at 5.3 for the San Diego Padres. And, you can go anywhere, man. I think Goldschmidt is going to be a really solid play. I like Goldschmidt. As a one-off, I kind of like him. All the righties, I'm stacking San Diego with Richard. I can dig that. I can dig stacking San Diego. Especially. I can dig that. And this is a cheap stack. This is a fairly cheap stack. Like if you save Will Myers, the next highest priced guy is Ryan Schimpf at 3.8, and I probably don't even want him. I would rather go to Margot, Renfroe, Austin Hedges, Solarte. I'd rather go there. Ibar owns Greinke. That's why he smashed that home run on his ass. Goldie owes me money. You and me both, because I can definitely take a shot at him. Yasmani Tomas kind of interests me at 3.9. I like the spot that he is in, and even some Brandon Drury at 3.5. So, although Clayton Richards is a very capable pitcher, dude is cheap as fuck at 5.3. Somebody that we might want to take a look at. Arizona is the stack after the letdown tonight. I can see that happening. Next game we're talking about is the Seattle, and this is the last game on the slate. This is the late night hammer game. We've got the 10:05 game. It is the Seattle Mariners and the Oakland Athletics. We've got James Paxton now as the crowd goes wild because I knew everybody is going to like James Paxton. Everybody is going to like James Paxton. I am playing James Paxton tomorrow against the Oakland Athletics. Now, they did give me a kind of a scare, the Athletics, they did, because they got all over the Texas Rangers' ass. I was talking about they got on their ass today. And for that reason, it does give me a little bit of pause. But man, I think James Paxton has solid stuff and can play very well against the Oakland Athletics. So I'm going to have some James Paxton tomorrow. I kind of like some of the Seattle bats as well. They're going against Cesar Valdez, man. That dude, I don't know. We got to make a rule. Like, if you're under 5K, you can't be a Shelly because you're just too cheap and nobody expects you to do shit. But, damn, 4.3K for Cesar Valdez, man. That is a tournament play if I can't say that. If I've never seen one. So, Gerard Dyson at 3.1 definitely interests me. Very cheap leadoff guy there. Haniger's been playing particularly well lately. I kind of like the spot that he's in. Give me some Robinson Cano, left-hander against righties. Yes. Even like Nelson Cruz at 4.5. So I think one of my favorite stacks are going to be the Seattle Mariners. I like the Braves number one. Is my favorite stack. But I think a 1A is going to be the Seattle Mariners. I like the fact that it's a late game. A lot of people are probably not going to be on them because they're the latest game. It's a West Coast game. You heard about Aaron Hernandez killing himself in jail. Waste of talent. Yo, real quick on that, man. Real quick on that, because I've been to jail. Sorry, I didn't mean to tell you that. I've been to jail. Let me tell you something. If you're in jail without a release date, I don't know what I would do if I was in jail without a release date. Like no date at all. And it's kind of fucked up, man, that young man's life spiraled out of control the way it did, and so many people got hurt. That really sucks. That he, went from a guy that had it all to a guy, that put so much hurt and shame on himself, on his family, and it's a really sad story. But he even has a brother who didn't do anything wrong, and his brother can't get a job coaching because of what Aaron Hernandez did. Like, we got families of people that are fucking hurt forever because of things that he did and killed their son. So it's a bad situation. It really sucks. It's a very tough situation, man. Very tough situation. And the dude has a daughter too, So shout out to all the people that were affected and the families and everything that were affected, man. But yeah, there's people saying that he didn't even kill himself. There's people that saying he didn't even kill himself. That somebody might have killed him. I don't know. All I can say is God rest his soul and the souls of the people that got hurt or got killed in the situations that he was involved himself in. And, that's just going to show you, man. As a young man, man, you've got to make better decisions. You've got to make better decisions, because while you're in that lifestyle and you're doing all of that crazy shit, it seems like this is the way it's supposed to be, but it's really not. And it's just sad, and it sucks for everybody involved. So, sorry about that little rant, but, and this is coming from somebody who's lived, that grew up in that lifestyle. There was a time when all I thought there was what I saw in front of me. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, one of the worst places for young people to grow up in the country. I'm talking about one of the worst places. But at some point I had to learn that the world was way bigger than the street that I grew up on. And a lot of us, we don't find that out. And no matter where we go, no matter what success we have in life, we still keep that street mentality, and it stifles our growth. It hurts the people around us. And that was the clear situation that this young man got himself into. So, let's go back to the basics. So, James Paxton, yes. Gerard Dyson, Haniger, Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz. Don't like Kyle Seager too much at 4.1. That's a little bit too much. So on the other side, taking a look, do I want to play guys against Paxton? No. But if I had to, I think Stephen Voigt is somebody who I kind of like. Matt Joyce is a play that we can kind of look to, as well as Yonder Alonso. Those are going to be guys that if I wanted to play against myself, hedge against myself, I would rock with those guys. So, Mater has upside, but it's a scary floor. Yes, that is very true. Under 4K batting, no higher than 6th. There is a floor. There's no floor. Yeah, right. Yeah. If a dude's that cheap, there's no floor. So let's go back through everything, man. and we're gonna start talking about the earlies a little bit. How Chris Sale, automatically one of the pitchers that we do really love. Corey Kluber is a guy that we like. Irvin Santana is a guy that we like. And I kind of like Daniel Norris a little bit. I'm a little bit on Daniel Norris in the early. That's how I'm rocking. I love Shoemaker. Think he's in a very solid spot. I'm going to have a lot of lineups with McCullers. I hate Shoemaker. He's the Shelley. I'm going to have a lot of lineups with Lance McCullers as well as Chris Sale. See if I can pay down for some cheaper stacks. I kind of like that. We talk about the early stacks that we do like. We already talked about the Houston Astros being the chalky stack on the slate. We already know that's going to happen. We can take a look in some spots at the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Minnesota Twins against Corey Kluber. Those are going to be that's a kind of a sneakier stack. That those guys are fairly cheap. I think I'm going to take advantage of that. Okay. So Jeremy Lass says Paxton and Duffy is there for him. As we move into the later slate, we're going to talk about some pitching there. My favorite pitcher on the later slate, of course, is going to be Paxton. We do want to take a look at Clayton Richard. I kind of like the spot that he is in. Also, we've got, I don't like Carlos Martinez at all. We've got Aaron Nola and Noah Syndergaard are two guys that we do like. As far as the stacks go, I think Baltimore is a place you can go. I definitely think, because I'm only rocking with 3 stacks, man. We got Baltimore. Well, my favorite is Atlanta. Atlanta's number 1. Number 2 is Seattle. Number 3 is Baltimore. We can go in those spots. Definitely. We can go in those spots. So we've got a lot of one-offs scattered here and there. So let's go out and have a really nice slate, man. If you are not a bona fide certified member of the Sweatshop, you'll be watching this YouTube video. You want to chop it up with some cats in the chat. The password, go to the website. It's thedailyfantasysweatshop.com. The password is Sweatshop, capital S, VIP, all capitalized. Definitely go check that out. Join us, man. Come over here in the Sweatshop VIP with these guys, man. These guys are fucking geniuses and they're awesome and they help me win every night. That's where I spend most of my time. I'm gonna report back here. We're gonna be doing the line drive at 5. That's 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, where we jump into everything, break down the slate in its entirety. Because see, the biggest thing, what we're doing now, this is kind of an overview because we don't have the full rosters. We really don't have like the set lineups and the batting orders yet. Right around 5 o'clock Eastern, that's when we get most of those. So that's why I do the line drive at 5 so that we can huddle up as a group and really go over the actual batting orders. Now we're talking just about pitching because the pitching is not going to change, right? So if you want to be a part of that, man, go hit up the website. Come on in. Come fuck with me, man. It's going to be a really, really, really great night. Thank you so much for rocking with me in the Sweatshop. I'm your host, of course, of DFS Jerusalem. Me, and the family here in the DFS Sweatshop VIP. We all thank you. Y'all go out, have an awesome Thursday, and let's go out and keep it 300. Thank you so much. Love y'all.